Hello everybody, I'm Melissa and welcome back to Book Bar and welcome to another Trope Tuesday recommendation. But today is actually going to be spring books that I recommend. So I actually have quite a few here. I don't even know how many there are. To me, spring is flowers and pinks and like peaches, light oranges. So covers that have that. Books might not necessarily take place in spring. They might take place in winter or summer or fall, but the covers give me spring vibes. Some of them also are very spring forward, but weddings, birth, flowers, things like that really are like springy to me. Blues like this, like just springtime. So the first one, Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. The original cover of this is covered in flowers. It's about a wedding. And this follows Amma and Elliot, and it takes place on two timelines. And Amma is a wedding planner helping plan a wedding for an influencer. And Elliot does floral arrangements, especially for weddings. And the brides really want to work with Elliot. So these two have to work together. They are exes, so it is second chance. I absolutely adore this. This is the Afterlight edition, Fairy Loot, I think. Yeah. Or Limicrate, whatever one does, Afterlight. I'm obsessed with this cover. I love it. I love the original cover, but like it's just very floral. It matches my shirt. Like very much springtime vibes. Next up, we have Echoes of You by Cowles. This is the second book in the Lost and Found series. This follows, is it Nash? Yeah, Nash and Maddie. And it is childhood best friends to lovers. There's a stalker situation going on. This cover is just pink. It screams spring to me. Small Town is really like spring summery vibes to me. But yeah, this is just absolutely, I love this. I love this whole series, but this pink cover is just very much giving me spring. Next up, we have Archer's Voice by Sheridan. Just the flowers on the cover are very much spring. This follows Bree and Archer, and Bree moves to town, and there she meets Archer, who is, is he not here or does he not speak? I don't think he speaks, because of some tragic stuff that had happened to him in the past. And I just adored this. It's such a good romance. And again, just the flowers are very much giving me springtime vibes. Then we have The Culmination of Everything by Christina C. Jones. The back more so gives me spring. I mean, she's wearing a sweater, which spring is still kind of cold. I wear sweaters in springtime. But the back and like the original cover, this is the Hello Lovely edition, but the original cover very much gives like springtime vibes. And they go hiking, and like hiking, just like, especially living in Texas, you can't hike in the summer, but you can hike in the spring and the fall. So this is very much like a spring fall time book. It's wonderful. I don't remember the characters' names. Well, I read this before I like tracked character names. I'm trying to see if it says who they are. Ben and Kyle. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. Then we have two that have spring in the title. So we have Devil in Spring and Scandal in Spring by Lisa Kleypas. Both have the gorgeous step backs. So Scandal in Spring is the fourth book in the Wallflowers series. This follows Daisy and Matthew. Both are Americans, but both are living in London. And Daisy is told she has to marry Matthew, and she thinks he's not great. But then as like they spend more time together, they realize, maybe they are great. But yeah. And then Devil in Spring follows Phoebe, I believe, Pandora Ravenel. This is in the Ravenel series, and Gabriel St. Vincent, who happens to be Sebastian and Evie's son. And yeah, I love this. Loved this whole series. I love both the series actually, and the Hathaways. But just anything with spring in the title gives me spring vibes. Then we have In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. This is so each book in the Love Light Farms series takes place in a season. So is supposed to be like seasonally. So Love Light Farms, Christmas, winter. This is supposed to be spring. Mixed Signals is summer. And then the new one coming out, I believe in June, is fall. So yes, In the Weeds, like just those flowers blooming, there's tons of baby animals, which again, like I said, like babies, birth, like that type of stuff, just rebirth, springtime. So yes, spring. Then we have the New Orleans Revelers series. This is book 2. Book 1 is loaned out to my mom. Baseball just gives me spring, summer vibes. It like gets me, like watching spring training baseball just makes me ready for spring, ready for summer. And so baseball romances, and like these covers are lighter and like more, like I feel like they lean more spring-like. Plus New Orleans in the summer is not great because it's so hot, but New Orleans in the spring I've heard is fantastic. So I don't actually know, I've never been there, but this is the second book in the series. This follows Ross and Casey. This is Lola's sister from book 1, and Ross is he is struggling. He is just coming out of a divorce, I believe. And Casey comes to help him out. She's going to be his assistant, going to help him get things in order. And they spend a night together, and something might happen after that. But yeah, very much giving me spring vibes with this. And then we have Binding and Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. I just love how floppy these are. These start out taking place in like the winter time, but they go into spring, and they just, I mean, these covers just give me spring, especially the spines give me spring vibes. This follows Johnny and Shannon, and Shannon is severely bullied at school, and so she ends up transferring to private Tom and college, where she on the first day gets kicked in the head with a rugby ball by none other than Johnny Kavanagh, and things go from there. And it's just adorable. I love it. It is gut-wrenching. You will cry. There's a lot of heavy topics, so please check your content warnings for these. But just absolutely love this, and it just gives me winter going into spring vibes, which is what we're in right now, because it's technically still winter, but we're getting into spring soon. So then a couple more that I don't own, or I do own, or I might own, but I don't have physically with me. Forever Your Rogue by Erin Langston. Just that pink cover, I believe there's flowers, very much gives spring vibes. This follows Nate and Cora is a single mom after her husband has passed away, and she needs to convince people that she deserves to have her children, because her horrible husband left a clause in his will saying that his sister and her husband also have guardianship of their kids, and they are just awful people. So she needs to be able to say, hey, these are my kids. I have a husband now. So she convinces Nate to help her out, and it is just absolutely fantastic. I love it so much. Then we have Only You by Samantha Young. This is the second book, or this is the final book in the Adair family series. This follows Broden and, is it Reagan? No, Monroe. Broden and Monroe. And they were childhood friends. Something happened that they got away from each other. And now they're both back in town, and things are going to happen. I loved it. You could read it as a standalone, but it is better to read the series in order. Then The Fiancée Farce by Alexandria Bellefleur. Just the pink on the cover. It is fake dating, fake engagement, romance between, I can't remember the two heroines' names, but just the pink on the cover is giving springtime vibes. Then the final book that I have to recommend is In a Jam by Kate Canterbury. This, again, the strawberry or the raspberries, just very much gives spring vibes. I, again, can't remember the characters' names. I didn't write them down. I probably should have. But it's more about just the cover vibes and the giving the springtime vibes. Now we have books on my TBR that I feel like are springtime vibes. We have Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. This is just, this cover specifically is more springtime. And it's very with the mushrooms and things. I just feel like it's very, it could also be fall, but I just feel like it's very new growth and new and more I don't know. I feel like it's not as dark as some fairy stories can be. So it just gives springtime vibes. Then we have My Fault by Mercedes Ron. Just the pink is spring. It screams spring to me. So I believe this is a stepbrother romance. So we'll see. But yeah, giving me spring vibes. Then I have 2 historicals. I have The Bride Goes Rogue by Joanna Shoup. This is the 3rd book in the 5th Avenue Rebel series. And the pink, like the light pink, the soft pink is, and it's kind of got like a wedding feel. Very much, like I said, giving spring. Then the last one is My Notorious Gentleman by Galen Foley. Just the peaches, the springy colors. Again, just giving very spring vibes. So yeah, those are my recommendations for spring romances, or romances that give me vibes of spring, as well as a couple I have on my TBR. So what are some books that you think scream spring to you? And do you agree with any of these? Do you disagree with these? Let me know down in the comments. And leave me, if you made it to the end of this video, leave me a flower, some sort of flower or floral emoji because of springtime. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. It really helps me out. And I'll talk to you all in the next one. Bye.